morning and welcome to Rising. We've got a great show for you today. I think we're going to have a lot of fun talking about the news, discussing, debating. What say you, Lindsay?
It's a lot on tap, and we're going to disagree probably, but I think we'll find some common ground like yesterday.
I hope so.
First, let's start with what's on your radar.
Happy to get to it. Brace yourselves, Democratic tastemakers have a new communication strategy, new vibe, if you will. It's called, get this, dark woke. And it just received quite a write-up in the New York Times, which cast Representative Jasmine Crockett as the avatar of this new form of expression, feeling, thing, whatever it is. Crockett, viewers might recall, is gaining a reputation as a more combative Democrat, someone who doesn't politely hold her tongue, but indeed fires back using spicy language. Remember when she clashed with Marjorie Taylor Greene in a House committee meeting? Watch this.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling, if someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad-built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't think that's
Hold
a
on.
part of
I'm
the.
trying to find clarification on what qualifies.
Chairman, motion to strike those
I had no idea
words.
what you just said.
We're not gonna do this. Look, you guys earlier literally just
Then there was her decision at a Human Rights Campaign Awards dinner to refer to wheelchair-bound Governor Greg Abbott as Governor Hot Wheels.
We in these hot-ass Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot-ass mess, honey.
I guess dark woke just means being more insulting. Well, the New York Times is working slightly harder to describe whatever this phenomenon actually is. Here I'm quoting from the Times. As liberals try to get their groove back, some party insiders say Democratic politicians have been encouraged to embrace a new form of combative rhetoric aimed at winning back voters who have responded to President Trump's no-holds-barred version of politics. It's an attempt to step outside the bounds of the political correctness that Republicans have accused Democrats of establishing, and it requires being crass but discerning, rude, but only to a point. The Times correctly notes that the closest actual thing to dark woke was the Dirtbag Left, a network of bro-coded podcasters who were very foul-mouthed, but also very left-leaning and very supportive of Bernie Sanders. They gained prominence when Sanders ran for president, and they often sparred with elite mainstream boosters of Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, and progressive identity politics tied to race and gender rather than to class. But the important thing about the Dirtbag Left is that it was authentic. It was tapping into a real frustration with the Democratic Party, that the party was excessively deferential to a horribly misguided elite establishment. The Dirtbag Left fought this establishment in the political front by boosting Sanders, and in the media front by building an alternative media ecosystem that emphasized alternate voices. What happened? Well, on the political front, the establishment crushed poor old Bernie. They rigged the process against him in 2016. Then, as he surged to frontrunner status in 2020, his opponents swiftly consolidated behind Biden to thwart Bernie. The Democratic Party is currently leaderless, and look, it's possible that the party will one day coalesce around his intellectual successor, AOC, but for now, the party has successfully marginalized the political candidate beloved by the Dirtbag Left. Then in terms of the media ecosystem, it's simply the case that many of the alternative platforms built by the dissident left have been conquered by the right. The alternative media is a pathway to many ideologies some consider to be unnatural. Leave a comment if you caught that reference. Can dark woke pick up where the Dirtbag left off? Well, I am not counting on it. So dark woke, Lindsay, is this a real thing or just the media trying to, I don't know, create this out of thin air?
Well, first I want to shout out to the Star Wars reference.
Oh, you did get it. Oh, I love that.
So can I go in the comments?
Yes. Yeah. Well, no, you shouldn't do that.
Okay, yeah, you told me to stay away. I think, first of all, you have to remember there's an opposite side to this. I want to be fair. There's also dark MAGA. You remember CPAC earlier this year. There were a bunch of people in all black. We saw a chainsaw from Elon Musk. And these are people that are aligned with, undertones of racism, white supremacy. There are bad parts of both parties. So I want to make sure that we're clear about that. But I also don't understand why Democrats would always have to take the moral high ground. Like Trump from the top down is leading this conversation with pettiness. He's running his entire campaign on pettiness. I mean, he called Kamala dumb, like the word dumb. And then Tim Walz called him weird. And we know that this has been the back and forth. And even though it might be childish and something that I'm not a huge fan of, you just can't keep going high. Michelle Obama's going higher and higher, and now, no, let's just go into the ground and meet you there. But what I think is when you have someone's attention and you have all the viral clips and the big moments that you get from being petty and going back and forth with the jabs that Jasmine Crockett trades with Marjorie Taylor Greene, who also makes fun of her eyelashes, then I think you have the attention of your constituents, and that's when you have the opportunity to actually say something real and say the policies. And then Jasmine Crockett can use all this press she's getting to then push on real issues like, hey, is your economy better than was under Biden? Hey, how are you feeling about these tariffs? And this is when you have the attention now that you've garnered, and you should use it in a better way than continuing the jabs and staying dark woke.
Being coarse, gruff, mean, insulting works for Trump. I don't know that it works for everyone else, and that's on both sides. I don't know that it works for Marjorie Taylor Greene, frankly. When I watch her and Jasmine Crockett, sparring with each other in what's supposed to be a committee hearing, it looks to me like the Real Housewives, like reality TV. It's kind of it's kind of
No, I'm not
funny,
accepting that because
but
they're
it's
two
embarrassing
women.
spectacle.
Because they're two women? No, this is the same
Maybe
exact
this
thing
is,
as
this is my sexism.
Yeah, this is
coming
the
out, I guess.
same thing
I'm
as
gonna
Trump.
Have to cop to that.
And I think that it's hilarious.
But it's funny when
you
he does
saw the people in the chamber like laughing. Obviously, it's not appropriate, but when you are constantly poked, I think people are tired of Democrats grandstanding, right? So part of that is being phony by pretending like you don't get irritated, you don't get mad, you don't want to say a jab back. And I think that now you can lead with a little bit more authenticity. You don't have to curse and do all the things that people are trying to be phony with. But I believe Jasmine Crockett, a girl from Houston, Texas, is actually just being herself and saying, I'm tired of this nonsense, so I'm just going to call your bluff.
Democrats recognizing that it was a huge mistake to go all in on political correctness, to go all in on enforcement of language, inoffensiveness, the perception that you can't say anything offensive or spicy, or you can't use foul language, that you're going to be canceled on social media and you're never going to get a job and you're going to get kicked out of school, you're always being recorded, and that the enforcers of that are not necessarily Democratic politicians. It wasn't like illegal to have said something offensive, but was progressive, cultural elite tastemakers in the media, on social media, who all belong to the Democratic Party. And so the Democratic Party became synonymous with that sort of thought policing that I think has made the party toxically unpopular among young people, particularly young men, the people who bore the brunt of this. I think that is actually the biggest explanation for why young men of all races have shifted dramatically into the GOP column in this most recent election.
But overall, we are different than our parents, right?
Yeah.
Our parents had a few more rules than you and I.
Yeah.
TV was different back then. You and I might not have had these jobs 20
TV
years
was
ago.
boring as
But that's
F
what I'm saying.
back then.
We're slowly coming out of that. And I think the younger generation is inspirational in that way. And the Democratic Party has the opportunity after losing an election to rebrand and find themselves. And so dark woke is the beginning of that rebranding.
The dark woke
I
rises.
think I think it's like equally. I mean, if Elon Musk can go to CPAC with a chainsaw and nothing's wrong with that, then we should be able to say a quick
but
jab.
I got to go back. You said earlier, racist elements, and I don't deny that there are extreme racist fringes in both parties. I've been surprised by the level of anti-Semitism in the extremes of both sides. The chainsaw thing is not. There's nothing racist about that.
That's not
heckling
attached to race.
government.
That's attached to the look of it. He wore all black, had the chainsaw.
Oh,
there were
yeah.
people with dark MAGA hats on,
Yeah.
and what that deeper meaning is, like, oh, we're taking it there, right? Even the signal of a chainsaw means that there's nobody who can stop me, right? I'm unstoppable, a little crazy, and that's what I think dark MAGA is. So just know that there's a parallel on both sides to what we're discussing. So don't just criticize dark woke people that are liberals when there's a whole other mirror to that I don't even think is equal.
I don't know that I'm even criticizing. I'm just observing and responding and commenting on
You don't like the way that the New York Times positioned this exploration into a new part of the Democratic Party. But I think they ought to be given the runway to be a little bit rude after all the beatings they've been taking from Republicans that really had no couth.
Fair enough. All right, next up on Rising, Trump issued Zelensky a stern warning: accept peace or it's over. That's up next.